All right, let's turn to a current event happening right now at Circa 21. I think it's time we start getting into the spooky fall and Halloween spirit, and what better way than to talk about a classic spooky favorite, the Addams Family. The comedy musical is currently on the stage at Circa 21 in Rock Island, but that's not all. There's lots of new shows coming to the dinner theater for its 48th season. And we're giving you the inside scoop right here today, and it's why Brett Hitchcock is joining us here on The Current. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jenna.
Okay, so talk to us a little bit about, for those who haven't seen the Addams Family, what is kind of the synopsis of the musical?
Sure. Well, this is a new show, fairly new show, and the storyline is Wednesday, the daughter has grown up, and she has met the man of her dreams. However, the man of her dreams is from a normal family. The Addams are not a normal family. So she confides in her father that she wants to get married and asks her father to keep a secret from Morticia. And so, they thrive on this family of not telling secrets and being open and everything else. And so the whole show revolves around her getting married, the introduction to the real family and how that works together. And then, also about how she kept, or how they had kept the marriage away from Morticia. Morticia finds out about it, and then it's just kind of a fun experience with it. It ends up in the wedding, and everybody's happy in the end. Yeah. So it really is a fun story. It has all of the characters. There's Uncle Fester and Lurch and all those characters that people know, and everyone so far has just really loved it. It's just a fun, lighthearted musical. As you said, we're a little early for Halloween, but I think as the weeks go by here, people are going to get into it, and the people that have come so far have just really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, well, the Addams Family, it's such an iconic story. It's
Absolutely.
Been everything from comic strips to TV shows to movies. What do you think makes this particular show you guys are putting on maybe a little bit different than some of those?
Well, I think there's more attention to the Addams Family right now, and in the series of shows, simply because of that Netflix series. And so I think that's helped draw more attention to the show again, and thus, creating more excitement about it. And so it happened just to be a great time to try to put it in and do it. So yeah.
Okay, so this isn't all. The Addams Family, it's going to be running through November 2nd. And then you guys have a huge new lineup for the 48th season.
Yeah, we have just announced our 48th season, which we are so excited about. We're kicking it off with Miracle on 34th Street, the classic. That starts in early November.
I love that show.
Oh, it's one of my favorites. And then we're doing a new show called Baskerville, which is a Sherlock Holmes show with the Hounds of Baskerville. It's kind of an adaptation of that. It's a murder mystery, so the audience will be deciding who the killers are during the show, which is fun. Then next spring, we're doing Heartbreak Hotel, which was originally called Elvis. It was a huge hit on Broadway. It's kind of a biopic. It kind of follows him from his roots growing up through the comeback special in Vegas. So it really is kind of it just follows his entire life. It's really all about the music, of course. There's over 40 songs in the show. So it should be a really good time, especially if you're an Elvis fan. That's definitely one you're not going to want to miss. And then coming up after that, we're doing a show that we have literally been trying to get the rights for 20 plus years, and that's Chicago.
Also a great
People love it. It's been touring forever, and so we happen to know the last company that sent it out on tour. We called them. They said they weren't sending it out again in 25, or it wasn't going to be around here, so we would be able to get the rights. So again, we've been trying to do that for years, and so we are thrilled to have Chicago as our summer show next year. And then also Mary Poppins is another one that we're really excited about. That comes up late summer, early fall. And of course, everybody knows the timeless story of that. And so we're excited about that. And then we're ending the year with a newer musical called Come From Away. If people aren't aware of that, on 9/11, when they shut the airspace down, there was this little town in Newfoundland where all of these people, it was a town of several thousand, there was like 7,000 people that flew in here that day and were stranded for several days. So it doesn't really talk about the events of 9/11 in New York and in Pennsylvania. It really kind of follows the story of this small community in Newfoundland that was just inundated with thousands of people coming in from all over the world whose planes were just, they had to touch down and stay there for a couple of days. And so it's about how these communities kind of took these people in, clothed them, fed them, and built some relationships that really have lasted a lifetime. So it's a really, really cool show, and that's what we're doing next fall and how we're ending the season.
Yeah, I will say I have seen that show, and it's one of my favorites. I love it. I cried, I laughed about everything.
Yeah.
Real quick before I let you guys go, what does it mean to be celebrating 48 seasons?
Well, it is quite an accomplishment. We would not be here but without the support of the Quad City residents and those, from the surrounding communities, it's just an amazing thing to think that, when we first started in 1977, it is not uncommon at all for there to be, if we're out speaking at a Rotary meeting or something like that, speaking to a public group, inevitably a banker will come up, a retired banker, and will say, "You guys came looking for money for this in the mid-'70s, and we thought you were nuts. There's no way." And my father's the one that started the company, so they would say, "When your dad came looking for money, we thought he was nuts. There's no way that you can take two things that have the biggest propensity of failure, and that's theaters and restaurants, and you're going to merge them together, and you're looking for money to do that." And he stood behind it. There were a lot of them around the country that were doing very well, and got it together, got the money, and opened it up. And the Quad City community has been just unbelievable to us over these last 48 years. And during COVID, they were amazing. There were people that were just not wanting refunds and had purchased tickets, said, "Just keep the money. We want to make sure that you're here after COVID's done and people can start opening back up again." So we've got so many stories like that of people over the years that have just been amazing. And without them and without this amazing community, we wouldn't be here. So it's a very, very special thing, to be closing in on that 50 years.
Yeah, definitely an accomplishment. Brett, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And for you guys at home, we do have all the details on the Addams Family as well as next season shows up on our website right now. Just click on the As Seen on TV tab.